Would it be fair to characterize that the conduct of the minister was corrupt?
Yeah. I mean, embarrassing at minimum.
Deceitful?
Yeah.
Ooh, what a doozy we've got today. Yes, the SDTC, slipping again, guys. SDTC scandal is still going on. Today, Sunday's video, we're going to look at a few, we're going to look at the biggest scandal going down in Canada at the moment from the point of view of Michael Cooper. And then we'll get on with your comments. And and we had a big shout out from a big channel this week. Yeah, making tracks, guys, making tracks. Let's get on. Michael Cooper. He was cross-examining witness one in the SDTC scandal. This is the green flush fund, green slush fund that's going to, that they're trying to get to the bottom of, and it's where the Liberals have put their own people in charge of our tax money, and then they're distributing the tax money as far as we know, as quickly as they can, because they get bonuses for getting rid of the money fast, to companies that are linked with MPs and all sorts of different schneedy snaky type people involved through and via and appointed by our Liberal government. You know, the transparent one. Let's have a listen.
I presume the minister would have been briefed in or around May about that interim RCGT report. Is that correct?
Correct. And the recordings showed that the deputy minister and the ADM had plans to speak to the minister around the findings, at which point the following week everything suddenly changed, and now they needed more time and expansion of timing. I would say I myself was personally given the full verbal debrief by RCGT over a 2-hour period on exactly what the findings were at that point. So again, I think I maybe want to mention that the 37 hours that I'm talking about, they integrated me into every aspect of the investigation. I don't know why, but they did.
Yep. Okay.
So the information I'm providing, I'm factually telling the truth.
Just in case you didn't know, the minister that he's talking about is Minister Champlain.
Governments are not particularly known for their ability to pick winners, but you guys have gone all in on EV batteries. Why EV batteries, and why is this the best bet right now for Canada?
I don't know if it was by choice or by design, but when I entered the role of industry minister, some were even looking at the demise of the auto sector in Canada. I'll put that in a book one day, but I'll give you some of the chapters. We were looking at that, and some of the first briefing were saying, Minister, the way things are going, either we meet this generational opportunity, or else we're going to see a decline in the auto sector in Canada. And the auto sector is not just like the OEM that we know, but it's all the supply chain. It's 500,000 people in the country. So when I look back, I said, listen, when is in your lifetime that you're going to see a transition in technology that big? I mean, people could say, well, the internet was one of them. But certainly, if I look at the average age in the room, when you go from the combustion engine to the electric engine, you say, well, this could be a great opportunity for Canada. So how do we go about that?
Well, first of all, you make all your buddies rich, and then you realize that the market for EV cars isn't really there because people don't want them. They don't want to be mandated into cars, and they don't want to drive EV cars because there is no infrastructure. You put all your pennies into one thing, and you forgot about the infrastructure. Anyway, let's carry on with Michael Cooper.
Well, thank you. Because the minister never mentioned anything about an interim report. He never mentioned anything about being briefed in May or June. He led a parliamentary committee to believe that he first learned about the findings of wrongdoing in September, and you said a year ago, or nearly a year ago, that he lied. And I presume it was in that context, but you said he lied. Is that correct?
At that part, and the part about the fact that he said he had no say in that final recommendation. But again, there's evidence to the contrary showing that before he was actually given the recommendation, him and his office had actual verbal conversations with the ADM and the Deputy Minister to ask for changes on those reports and the recommendation prior to its official submission. And I would also say that the most indicative aspect of the situation at ISED and the cover-up is the fact that the Deputy Minister is actually retiring.
So, in short, the minister was in the thick of it. He was actively involved. He was learning about information around wrongdoing. He was being briefed, and he was actively, along with his deputy minister, involved in saying, we want to change this, we want to change that, we want to soften the report throughout until it was released in October. Is that a fair characterization of what happened?
That's fair, and it's not just the minister, it's PCO and the Department of Justice, because again, there were implications immediately when the investigation started in March because these were PCO appointees.
Who in PCO and Justice was involved in this corrupt editing process along with the minister?
ADMs.
ADM Noseworthy?
No, he wasn't involved in any investigation because he was implicated. What I meant was ADMs and people of that level as counterparts to the people at ISED were involved from day one.
Would it be fair to characterize that the conduct of the minister was corrupt?
Yeah. I mean, embarrassing at minimum.
Deceitful?
Yeah.
I think they got Michael Cooper's name wrong halfway along there. I don't know if you noticed that. But yeah, that witness who came out, he's absolutely tearing into this slush fund. He's telling it as it is. He's got tapes record. He's got like 30 hours of tape recordings. He's got almost 3,000 pages of evidence, and really the government hasn't got a leg to stand on. The only issue about all of this is that the mainstream media are not touching this. This is so explosive towards the corruption of the government, zero transparency, the way that all of this is being fed now to Michael Cooper and all the other MPs who are like edging into this and trying to get to the bottom of it and the truth. This is the biggest scandal that's ever happened to Canada and in Canadian politics. I don't know where we go from here, guys. It's got to be spread around. You've got to share these videos or Northern Perspective videos. It's got to be. Go to tell your friends about it. Post it on your Facebook pages. Post it everywhere until low battery. Until everybody knows. Everybody needs to know about this. Until the mainstream media cannot ignore it. Once it gets to the point where they cannot ignore it and people are saying, hey, what's going on here? Why are you reporting on this? Then they're going to look really bad. They're going to look really, really as if, they are hiding something, which they are at the moment. They're just ignoring it. But that needs to stop. Anyway, let's get on with your comments. Just before we get on with the comments, don't forget to check your subscriptions, because lots of people are getting unsubscribed again, as per usual. A lot of other channels are having the same issue. So yeah, check your subscriptions, make sure you're still subscribed. There's some videos that aren't actually going out to subscribers because YouTube don't like them. So if you press on the bell next to subscribe, then YouTube, I don't think they're forced to, but I think the idea is then that when there's an upload, it actually notifies you of the upload. Otherwise, just do this.
I want to say like and subscribe.
Yay. Thanks again, Paula. Anyway, let's get on with these comments. One man bringing down Trudeau Liberals. This scandal will destroy the Liberals, the Trudeau Liberals, if anyone reported on it. Yeah, nobody's reporting on it. What's going on there? The only people who are reporting on this are small channels like mine, big channels like Northern Perspective. Oh, and by the way, I got a shout out on Northern Perspective. Go ahead.
Thank you. We heard we have a radio reaction in the chat tonight, and we just wanted to say thank you very much for promoting us on your latest video, for sharing the SDTC scandal information, because that is super important, and the more Canadians that can hear about that, the better, because I think we as Canadians deserve better, and we want better done with our tax dollars. So thank you very much for highlighting that.
And saw you in Ottawa while we, in retrospect, while we were there. Sorry we missed you.
About that, eh? and let's start off the comments with Northern Perspective. Cheers, guys.
Thank you kindly again for the shout out on this scandal, good sir. Everyone needs to know. Cheers.
Yeah, let's share the heck out of this on X and everywhere. Share the Northern Perspective videos if you want. Any video to do with this scandal needs sharing. Everybody needs to know about it. Marilyn said,
He's not a whistleblower. He's a true Canadian telling the truth. Please protect him, almighty God.
Nice one. Tony said,
Unfortunately, mainstream media are not reporting this. Kudos for you for mentioning it.
yep, mainstream media won't go near this. It's an absolute minefield. Louise says,
Put them in jail. What's the hold up on criminal investigation?
I think the hold up is the fact that they've got so much stuff to go through that it's going to be really, really difficult for the RCMP to troll through all the information. There's 3,000 odd pages of stuff. There's 30 hours of recordings of everything that's been going on, and yeah, they've got to go through that before they even start a proper investigation. Lorne said,
Everyone should watch Northern Perspective. They are the real thing. They have integrity and moral character. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thanks, Lorne. Kathy said,
He is truly a hero for speaking out. Watch part 1, haven't got even to part 2. It's pretty bad.
yeah, it's very bad. Watching.
All these scandals are making my hair fall out.
Tell me about it, guy. Okay, let's move on to the carbon tax failure, because we all know it's a failure. And the stuff's come out about the town that got burnt, and more again, Northern Perspective have a really good video about that. But basically, they didn't want to do backburns around that town in Alberta because it doesn't look good on the news. And then next thing you know, half the town's missing. We already know this about Trudeau's carbon tax. We do. We already know it's a failure, and it's just basically a tax. Even if there was an issue with what's going on with the carbon tax and the weather, carbon tax is still just a tax. It's a tax on working class people. Ardale said,
I agree with Melissa. She has covered every point. Canadians want to have a right to want a carbon tax election.
yes, we do. Didier said,
Canadians want a carbon tax election now.
yeah, the only people who don't think Canadians want an election is Trudeau and Freeland and all their cronies. And what was it, WEF? God, isn't it Carney? Sim. Jean-Marie said,
Melissa has got it going on. I can't wait to see what she is going to bring to the table when Conservatives are leading Canadians out of this destruction that NDP Liberal WEF has put us into. I'm thinking another one bites the dust, yes.
well said, Jean-Marie. Bob said,
Today's vote of no confidence is about the pension for some, and not about freedom of choice or doing what is good for the citizens of Canada. This is a perfect form of dictatorship. This coalition is exactly that. PP for PM. Common sense.
exactly. This is how democracy breaks down. When 80% of people want something, but the government demands that the people take what they're given. You get what we're giving you because we want to stay in power. We want the money. We want the power. We want to stay in power. We want to control Canadians. We don't care that 80% of people want change and want rid of this government. We don't care about that. The Bloc don't care, NDP don't care, and Liberals don't care. Nobody cares. They only care about themselves. Democracy is a distant thing in Canada at the moment. Now we are just being run by people who demand to be in charge. That's it. Till next time.